think it's the first time that we're actually seeing such a direct link between the forest fires and its impact on tourism. But we're losing a lot of very important forests, and of course, we're losing a lot of the important services that these forests provide to us in the weeks and the months and the years to come.
And in terms of some of the damage that we're seeing, Demetri, how much of that is irreversible?
Well, up until now, we've lost something like 40,000 hectares throughout the country. Forest fires are a part of Mediterranean ecosystems. So in some of these places, these forests can regenerate naturally if we let Mother Nature do her job. But there may be areas that will have to be technically reforested if they've been burnt 2 or 3 times before. And of course, like I said before, we will have increased incidents, for example, of flooding in the winter because we've lost a lot of the very important services that the forests provide to us.
Demetri, what kind of animals call these forests their home, and how have they been affected?
Well, it's difficult to do an on-site assessment at this stage while the fires are still raging. We do know that on the island of Rhodes, for example, there's a population of European fallow deer that have been impacted by this. We don't know how many animals have been lost. Just over 10% of the area that's been burned is actually a protected area. It's a Natura 2000 site. So that has some additional ecological value that we need to look at. And of course, all of the birds and small mammals and animals that live in these forests that have been lost or have moved out of these areas.
I know you've got a family in Rhodes, and we're talking about animals with you now as well. But in terms of looking to the future, how concerned are you by all those people and animals who call places like Rhodes home, and some of the climate crisis that we're seeing and what we're going to see in the next sort of 5-10 years and maybe beyond that?
Well, wildfires are no stranger to Greece and to the Mediterranean. That's true. What we are seeing different from the past, however, is that these fires are more frequent and they're a lot more intense. They're even taking on the scale and dimension of what we call mega fires. Is the climate crisis related to this? Yes, it is. It's not responsible for the forest fires per se, but the climate crisis is actually creating those favorable conditions that allow these forest fires to really spread and become that intense. In a nutshell, I would say the climate crisis is making our forests much more vulnerable, but at the same time, a lot more valuable to us. So yes, it is very concerning. It is concerning that the intensity of these forest fires is growing. And as you said, we're already seeing a very direct impact on people's lives, on people's livelihoods, to have thousands of tourists having to evacuate these areas. The local population, hats off to an amazing job that's being done by thousands of volunteers on the ground in Rhodes, in Evia, in Corfu, and so many other places. If it weren't for these volunteers, we really don't know what would have happened. But I think the climate crisis at the same time is a very serious wake-up call to us all. We need to address the issue of forest fires in a very, very different way. The paradigm of forest fire management all these years in Greece has been one that's based on suppression. More firefighters, more planes, more equipment. I'm sorry, but that's failed us. We really need to see how we can put more emphasis on prevention. We really need to see at a local level how we can put together local prevention plans, involve volunteers, involve society, so that we can make these forests able to actually withstand these very different conditions.
Okay, Demetri, thank you ever so much for your insight, and we wish you, your family, all the best in the days to come. Thank you for talking to us tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.